This is Crime Stands Still, Season 2, Killer Instincts. One season, one story, the podcast that delves deeply into cases post-conviction, resolving cases, bringing you new evidence, fresh perspective, and revisionist theories. The whole truth, and not just what the jury heard. Episode 10, Guilty. We, the jury, duly impaneled, do find the defendant, Ron Young, on the charge of first-degree murder, guilty. On the charge of conspiracy to commit murder, guilty. Ron did not make any statements. His pre-sentence report described him as cold, calculated, and cruel. His unbridled greed, obscene. He became famous not for the life he lived, but for the life he took.
Excuse me, sir. I believe you just gave my client an illegal sentence. The statutory range is 25 to life.
The judge pronounced consecutive natural life sentences.
Not changing my mind.
Pam Phillips entered the United States from Austria in the custody of United States Marshals. She served 7 months in a Vienna jail before being heavily sedated and placed on a flight home to Tucson's International Airport to face a murder indictment. United States Marshals delivered Pam to the Pima County Jail, where she awaited her initial appearance. Broke and despondent, she shuffled into the crowded tank next to the other inmates, waiting to be arraigned. She wore black stripes, no makeup, and a haunted expression. In the wake of her $10 million civil judgment, Pam's assets had all been frozen. She had no money, no financial resources. She wrote to her former lover, Seppi, in despair from her cell in solitary confinement.
It's very stressful. I'm getting fat. Here, they just want you to look as bad as possible.
Meanwhile, her lawyer argued for better clothing, insisting to the judge that there was a very real possibility she didn't do this, that in fact Gary's murder may have been mob-inspired.
Which mob? Italian, Greek, Russian, Irish, Mexican, Jewish, or Chinese?
Possibly LCN, La Cosa Nostra. The state produced a 13-page list of suspects, 1,000 names over 14 years. We're requesting discovery on those people.
I'm not submitting names of golf players to the United States Department of Justice to investigate.
Your Honor, this is disclosure harassment. The FBI, U.S. Marshals, ATF, DEA, we're all involved in prosecuting and investigating this case. Now counsel says he can't get their cooperation? One option is to dismiss the case.
Of course, that wasn't really an option. So her lawyers tried something else. Incompetency. Pam was crazy. Crazy like a fox. She could be anything her little public defender wanted her to be, if it meant she didn't have to spend another day in prison. She claimed she had some sort of computer chip implanted in her brain that was controlling her thoughts and actions.
I was a mess.
Finally, on February 19th, 2014, 17 years after Gary Triano's murder, Tucson's trial of the century began. The prosecution portrayed Pam as a financially desperate woman willing to kill her husband for a $2 million life insurance policy. In response to her former friend Laura Chapman's damning testimony, Pam later told reporters that her poor friend suffered from a brain tumor. Pam's defense was simple. Someone else did it. Neil McNeese, the drug-crazed millionaire who Gary had cheated. Supposedly, McNeese had mob ties and a kill list, but he never produced the list because he died years before in a drug overdose.
Ron Young couldn't even fix a flashlight or screw in a light bulb as far as I can tell. We found out who did this, and we've got strong evidence of who did this, and it wasn't Pam, and it wasn't Ronald Young. It was people that were involved with organized crime.
As for the recordings?
Spliced and diced, we believe. They were never authenticated by any expert. The true story behind the tapes was extortion.
Then her defense presented a CSI moment. They claimed to have found DNA on the bomb fragments embedded in the wood that excluded Ron as the bomb maker. They didn't have to prove Pam's innocence, they just had to create reasonable doubt. The supposed bomb maker, yeah, he died too. In the end, the jury didn't buy it. After 13 hours of deliberation, they found Pam guilty as hell.
It's a complete frame. Here I sit, and I am innocent. And the people that killed Gary Triano are out walking around.
When she was sentenced to life with no chance of parole, she said,
I'm innocent. I am very, very, very innocent.
Thanks so much for listening. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode of Crime Stands Still. And remember to download and listen for free on all your favorite streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple, or Amazon Podcasts, or wherever you get your true crime fix. And if you enjoyed what you heard, please leave a review. Your feedback helps to keep the stories coming and lets others know where to find their next obsession. And if you'd like to learn more about this case, you can check out my book, A Socialite Scorned, available on Amazon and at kerriedroban.com. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and stay out of the shadows.